Hi, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Matt, and I make a lot of beginner roleplay content on this channel, Improv and RPG. I appreciate your support. Now, before we start this game, I want to set some clear expectations so you know what kind of game you're in for. Just like seeing a trailer for a film or reading the back of a book. I want you to know what kind of game this will be so you don't sit there for an hour and then realize, ugh, I didn't want to watch this. This is a comedy role-playing game based on media like Fawlty Towers, Jeeves and Wooster, and other British comedies. Rooted in the 1920s, you'll see all sorts of hilarious hijinks, as the players try to get past all manner of obstacles using their wits. This specific game will involve a mystery that the players will try to solve, so there will be all sorts of lying, red herrings, and duplicity. If you wanted an intense space combat with ships and wormholes, or if you wanted level 20 wizards duking it out with casual fireballs, this is not that game. This is mostly combatless, with damage basically being the pain of flubbing social interactions and failing to hit our goals. But if comedies and mysteries, puns and questions are up your alley, well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Hello! Welcome to the Improv and RPG channel. I'm so excited. We're going to be rocking some Flabbergasted action, everybody. I'm so pumped. We are, of course, going to be playing the expansion, the Mystified expansion, so we'll be solving a mystery in this two-part series. But, y'all, before we get underway, well, let's introduce everyone to our incredible players. Of course, without whom, Kayleigh, Henry, and Liam have been the stalwarts. Y'all have probably played Flabbergasted more than everyone else in the world, because y'all have been such incredible players that I just can't help but always want to play with y'all. But for each of y'all, if you wouldn't mind, we'll be starting with Kayleigh, but your name, your pronouns, anything you have to promote, and then your character name, character pronouns, and a quick little blurb about them. We'll start with Kayleigh with Henry on deck.
Hi, I'm Kayleigh, she, they. I don't have anything to promote other than having a good time and being cool.
Yeah, let's go.
Today I am playing Sadie Sedgwick, the sleuth. There's a lot of S's in that. She is, let's see what I wrote in my character background. 'Cause this is exciting to play a character for the first time.
Yes.
Basically she's a young woman, kind of flapperish looking, cute, very innocent. Because of that, she's very good at people just like say things around her that they don't mean for her to hear necessarily. She's also a little bit of an eavesdropper. She's a secretary currently. She last overheard her previous boss reveal some secrets about the company that he was embezzling, so she was able to uncover that case, and led to her solving a few other small cases and things like that, and she hopes to one day start her own detective agency.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here, Kayleigh. Let's jump over to Henry with Liam on deck.
Hi, hello. My name is Henry. He, him pronouns, and and lovely to be here in this game. I'm also on Twitter as Emblem Trove, where I basically design emblems for TTRPGs. So yeah, that's fun. And in terms of who I'll be playing today, Stephen Yen, a arms and armor curator in the museum here in this setting. So very excited to play him, and we'll see how he does stuff later in the future.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Henry. Let's jump over to Liam with myself on deck.
Hey y'all, Liam here, he, him. I actually don't have anything to promote. It's been way too long since I've done anything on the internet to actually really be promoting myself much, but I hope to make a return at some point.
Yes.
So if you want to keep an eye on that, I guess the link is in the chat.
Yeah, y'all heard it here first. Breaking news, baby.
Today I will be playing Doris, also known as Dodo Piper. Doris Piper. Doris is a cute, bright, out there sort of young lady. She's made a reputation for herself as being a little weird. But because she seems to have the ability to contact the afterlife, it's made her very interesting also. So she's kind of found herself as being able to be weird and part of society at the same time. But it's actually a lot of pressure to maintain that weird so you can maintain your place in society. And she's been struggling with that a fair bit. But yeah, she's a curator of all things lost. She will. She has fun looking for things that are missing. So it doesn't matter whether you lost a sock or family heirloom. She's really keen to find that sort of stuff. She's never been on a case. She's never wanted to be on a case. She probably will just fall into that.
Nice. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here, Liam. I'm so pumped, y'all. My name is Matt. I run this channel, Improv and RPG. My pronouns are he, him. And I, as the director, aka the GM, will be playing all the NPCs and whatnot. So that's going to be very fun. I'm very pumped. And I guess with everyone introduced, oh, one more thing. I do want to give a big thanks to the Wanderer's Tome for being amazing, creating this wonderful game, and allowing me access to run this expansion, which the Kickstarter's already finished, but y'all should definitely check it out. It has the most fun mystery mechanic that I've played with. I'm very excited for y'all to see how this works in this 2-part series. So, all right. Let's rock and roll as we pan a bit around Peccadillo. Through this city that is nebulously on the eastern United States and also the UK and maybe a few other places, the Springfield of TTRPG cities, for any Simpsons fans out there. But, well, Kayleigh, where are we panning to in the city? Is Sadie at the club, or is Sadie somewhere else at the moment? What is she up to?
Sadie is at the Curators Club currently. She's in her favorite part, which is the area that she's personally curated, which is the extensive supply of cheap romance novels, like paperback romances, often with very lurid titles or covers. She's rereading one of her favorites, which is it's What the Heart Wants by Hazel Bradbury. Just a very, very handsome man with a dark complexion who comes to town.
Oh, fantastic.
She knows what's happened, but she's reading it anyway. She's curled up on the couch. Yeah.
Great. How is... I have a quick question. As far as Sadie's interest in these these paperback romances is concerned, does she wear that on her sleeve, or is this more of like a secret passion when she's out and about?
Oh, she's very well known for it, for sure. Again, if anything, I think people are more surprised that she has like a little more that she actually is like very smart, because again, like it's what helps her in cases and stuff, because people sort of dismiss her as like an airhead or a lightweight, when she's just, you know, maybe she's a romantic, but she's very smart.
Fantastic. Well then, in that case, with Sadie enjoying what the heart wants, we will pan over. Henry,
Mhm.
where is your character currently? Are they at the club or elsewhere?
Yeah. So question for that. Is this during like the morning or are we like thinking like afternoon sort of
I
time
would
of
say
day?
afternoon.
Okay, yeah. So I guess in that case, I would say Stephen Key Yen is probably at the club as well. And I believe that he is just absolutely showing off like the collection that he has collected, which is, well, arms and armor. So I believe that it probably is like a sort of little entourage that's like very interested, probably like
Mhm.
university students who just like love to come and just talk to like the curators, because of course if we're here, then they love to talk to us about like all the artifacts that we collected.
Mhm.
So there is a little, well, not little, because of the stuff that he owns, but there is quite a large space where like he actually gets to display all those weapons and
Mhm.
armor in play. And the reason for that is because Steven does do demonstrations with these weapons. He is a sort of 5'6" Asian, lean fit, sharp features, 42 years old, but he looks way younger than he should be.
Mm.
Age does not show on this man. And he just goes ahead and just starts to demonstrate, like, oh yes, this is the Da Dao from the Ming Dynasty, once held by the great general Wu Tang. And he just goes ahead and just does like a sort of demonstration on that. Like he goes from like weaponry from ancient China to all the way to the Middle East. Like it seems
Mhm.
like his knowledge of using these weapons is unparalleled. So I guess that's what he's been doing. But
Mhm.
of course, he takes breaks in between because it is very, very tiring. um,
Right.
yeah.
Excellent.
Mm.
Excellent. So, amidst being able to show off not just the collection, but also Stephen's immaculate skills, we will pan away from this group of university students who are oohing and eyeing over to Doris. Liam, where is Doris right now? What is Doris up to?
So I feel like to do like a small montage.
Okay, let's go.
She earlier in the afternoon she was painting, and it was very quiet in her small apartment, and she was looking out the window and just painting just whatever scenery, but she paints it with incorrect colors. The sky is green, and the buildings that are red are now purple with some yellow in it. And it's a very, very weird. And she's got a bit of paint on her face. She's got a bit of paint on her clothes. And eventually, when she wraps that up, she kind of gets up and starts getting ready. And all of that is very quiet. There's no music. There's a bit of sound coming from outside, but everything's quiet. She seems very relaxed. She puts on a really bright yellow dress with red flowers all on it. She starts doing her makeup with extra rosy cheeks, and she doesn't have freckles, but she kind of dots them on, maybe a bit too many. Um, and that's when she realizes that she's got still a bit of paint from when she was painting, and she just kind
Ooh.
of shrugs and just lets it be. Um, Finally, she puts on a hat. You know, one of those like small, kind of pinned to the side of the head 1920s hat with like little
Mm-hmm.
feathers sticking out. She's got one of those, except they're like really big feathers that just kind of drop at the back of her. And once she's
Ooh.
ready, she grabs her umbrella, really nice, bright purple umbrella. It doesn't look like it's gonna rain, but she takes it no matter what. Um, and she takes her little purse and she starts making her way to the club. On the way on the street, she finds a really peculiar, bright, silvery sort of button that must have fallen off somebody's jacket or something. And she picks it up and she puts it in her purse, and she just kind of tells herself, well, I'm sure somebody will be looking for this one soon enough, and starts making her way all the way to the club.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, you know what? I mean, I love all y'all's characters already. I'm gonna throw a little wrench in here real quick as
Hmm.
Doris is en route. Um, because I love that montage so much. Um, first off, because I don't do this enough, I'm gonna give you a lucky coin. Because Doris is a joy. Now I do want to ask you, as far as the paint, the little bits of paint that have gotten onto her face, can I ask you which colors in particular might be the most prominent?
Well, I say, what color did I say? The sky's green in my painting, so
Right.
I'm gonna say there's probably different shades of greens, just splattered a bit on the forehead and a bit on the cheek, and maybe a bit of yellow just stuck on the other side. So that sort of hue, green and yellows.
Okay. So you're going to see that outside of the club, there is a young man, maybe somewhere in between child and like full teenager. I'd say probably like middle schoolish, around 12, 13 years old. And he's holding in his hands a small paper airplane in one, but a little envelope in the other. He's got, from behind, you'd be able to see a white button-up shirt that has short sleeves, khaki shorts. He's got a little white, a little polka dot, red and white polka dot tie on, and glasses, as well as short, blonde hair. But he's looking at the door of your club, and you can kind of see just a bit of nervous jitteriness. And it seems like he's trying to work up the courage to do something.
Nice. I think Doris, who also goes by Dodo, will kind of walk up, and Dodo's very short. She's like 5 foot nothing. And she just kind of goes up and looks him up and down, like, and around, looking to see if he's missing a button. Does he look like he has any button that matches the one I found?
Absolutely. I'd say it's probably the top button on his shirt. And you'd also notice that like there's some like frayed threads there, and it seems like he's in his nervousness, he's probably been like messing with his tie, messing with his collar, and you'd hear him mumbling, "Oh no, I I, I can't do this. I can't even keep a button on my shirt. How could I do something like this?"
You've already
Yeah.
solved your first mystery. Just where's this button?
All right, we're done, guys. See ya.
All right, back it in. Time to go.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for the stream. No.
Right?
So Dodo, who's now really close, will grab her umbrella and just be like, excuse me, sorry. If you could just hold on to this one for me. And just kind of thrust the umbrella onto the guy. And then, assuming he either grabs it or he doesn't, but if he doesn't, the umbrella just kind of clatters to the floor.
He will grab it, he'll drop both things. Like he couldn't decide between left hand or right hand, and so he chooses both.
And I'll dig in my little purse. And I'll be like, could this be yours by any chance?
Yes. Where did you find that?
Just down on the streets, a bit further up. Anyways,
Oh.
thank you. I'll grab the umbrella and be like, I'll be heading in. Are you coming in too?
Oh, are you a part of the curator club?
Well, yeah, of course. And I'll just open the door and be like, come on in. I'm sure everyone will be so happy to see you.
Oh, oh, okay. Oh, wait, I have to deliver something. And he's gonna chase after the letter that had fallen. You will note that, of course, he dropped the letter and the paper airplane, and that paper airplane is starting to pick up like a little bit of a draft, and it looks like it'll be blown away before you know it. But
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. I mean, if I see the airplane kind of float away, I'm like, oh dear me, I'm so sorry. Oh, let me, and I'm gonna start chasing after the airplane. I'm like, don't want to have to be finding that one later.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm sorry. I got flustered. You look like a sunflower.
Well, I suppose I do. That's so lovely of you to say. You look like someone who needs help.
I am someone who needs help. Oh my god. Okay. Well, great.
After the airplane,
Second mystery solved.
Yoda's on a roll.
Right? Okay. Well, he will follow you in now that you were able to calm him down. But he is going to hand you the envelope. And he says, I needed to make sure that you were all invited. There's a special event going on at my house. So and I'd say like perhaps right when he crosses the threshold, he would probably see the incredible demonstration that Steven is putting on. And Dodo, you would see his eyes widen, and then as he's like kind of surveying everything, he'll also notice Sadie reading a book, and this little boy is gonna like very slowly start walking towards Sadie. Dodo, you'd recognize that perhaps the demonstration he's very taken by, but the crowd he's a bit scared of. And so he was thinking of heading towards the one person instead of the gathering. Takes a few steps. He turns back towards you, almost like is this okay?
Dodo'll just look back and be like, go on, dear, you're fine. Just watch out for the man with the swords over there. He hasn't hurt anyone that I've met, but it's bound to happen.
Bound to. All right. And he'll run a
No
little
one
bit
I've
faster.
met on this plane. There's a couple of ghosts that I'm sure didn't like his sword swinging.
Ghosts?
Too many bad memories for them.
All right.
Toodaloo, then.
Hi. What are you reading?
So I'm backwards on the couch. I've got the book in one hand. I'm eating an apple in the other. I'm sort of put the book down and I say, oh, just one of my favorite novels. It's so exciting. Sorry, who are you? And I look to Doris and I say, is that your kid? Is this your kid? You got a kid?
Doris is just gonna wave excitedly, be like, but not respond.
This small child is gonna say, my name's Sam. and he'll I mean he's fairly short. He'll raise a hand up to try to shake yours.
Okay, I've sat up now, so I'm right side up, and I'll get slightly perplexed. I go and shake his hand, and I say, "Yeah, hi Sam, I'm Sadie."
It's nice. Oh, S's. It was meant to be. So I have to deliver this, but I did want to know because I like reading too. What are you reading?
Oh, so this is called "What the Heart Wants." It's one of my favorite novels of all time. There's this girl, and she's very sensible, and she says, "I'm never going to marry a man." She's got a job as a reporter, but then this new man comes to town, this rival reporter, and sparks fly between them.
Oh, I see. It's about electricity.
Well, not literal electricity. More like, sparks when two people fall in love. Maybe you'll understand it better when you're a little older.
I don't know. You see, like, there's a part of him that's like trying to maintain some sort of facade of like, oh yeah, I'm too cool for girls, but there's just like a little bit of a blush in his face, almost as though like you've called him out even though you didn't.
Just wait till you find out about boys.
But I've heard a lot of great things about you, you, her, and the scary sword man, and I was hoping to invite you to an event.
Ooh, I love parties. And I'll take it from him to try and read it.
Great. So it's a fairly short note. It simply says you're cordially invited to the Adams Summer Mansion for a special announcement before we go public. From the Adams.
Family?
Is this a is this a name that's familiar at all to me?
Yes. I would say that it would be a name familiar to all of you because being the curator club, you all have your various interests when it comes to collecting things. And well, there have been rumblings about a notable collector in Peccadillo. Specifically, Paul Adams, who, well, it's said that he has been amassing an incredible collection of the one-of-a-kind miniatures of the Peccadillo amusement park.
Oh.
Like there are the mass-produced ones, but when it first started, when it first began, there were the originals, and it's said that Paul is getting very, very close to finishing the collection. And the full collection of the first edition mint park attractions would be worth a very pretty penny altogether.
Okay, so seeing this, I'll say, "Oh, was it Paul Adams?"
Yep, Paul Adams.
Yeah, so I'll say as in Adams, as in Paul Adams, and then I stick two fingers in my mouth to whistle and motion over the other two so that they can take a look at this as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wait for Steven to be done waving the death objects.
Yeah. I think at this point it's like you see him going from like, the typical like glade Chinese like the dadao, so it's basically like a sort of massive like Asian scabbard, and now he's just working on just like a medieval lance at this point. Like the range is like so far and there's nothing in between. But I think he's just finishing up his demonstration, and then he just immediately like, all right, kids, head on home. Seems like I am needed, but we'll continue tomorrow when we start doing some capoeira stuff. And he goes ahead and just basically, I imagine that there's a whole locker and just storage. So he goes ahead and just like there's so many locks to it, because of course these will kill people. As
Right.
Dodo has probably seen the ghost, but Steven doesn't know. The less you know, the better. So yeah, imagine he Steven goes ahead and takes a sip of water because he is absolutely exhausted, but goes ahead to meet with Sadie.
Hi, I'm Sam.
Ah, young boy, what is your name?
Sam. It's nice to meet you.
Somehow I didn't catch it the first time. I feel like I'm still reeling from the demonstration that I was doing. Oh, I deeply apologize for that.
No, it's
Hopefully...
okay. I feel like it'd be really hard to not kill people when you have that. So
Oh, me
you
kill
gotta
people?
focus.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no.
with
Uh,
that weapon.
Well, I mostly use these weapons for demonstration purposes.
Yeah.
I am not the sort of person to actually use these weapons to deal people any harm. I'm merely just showing them exactly what the capabilities they are and what people have used them in the past.
Have a look
Ah.
at this, I say, and I show them the invitation.
Wow,
We're invited.
Adam's family. Yeah.
Yes.
Dodo's too busy like looking at her feathers and just going,
Yeah, I see
the
you got a bit
Adams
of...
family.
Yeah.
They got a lot of money.
Yeah,
a
we
lot
do.
of miniatures. A lot of miniatures too. Not
Mhm.
usually my sort of thing, but still interesting nevertheless.
Are there many
It'll be a
miniatures?
party. It'll be fun.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh, I love parties. Parties are great. Speaking of money, I have some money on me too. And I kind of go, think, you know how everybody talks about pretty pennies? Well, I painted this one just for you. And I give him a penny that I've painted on. It's got like a smiley face on it.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I bet you do.
And he's going to, it's almost like force of habit, but as soon as he takes it, he'll bite it. And you'll see just a little bit chip off. He's like, oh, there's crunchies.
Dodo's not phased. Weird is her middle name. So she's just like, there.
So if it's starting pretty soon, this, because I'm sorry, I was hoping to get you, we've got like a pretty exclusive group for the pre-show, because you notice that we talk in the letter about going public. Paul will be doing that when that's when all the reporters and the journalists, maybe the journalists from your book, maybe they'll be there. But it's like we'll have that major event probably tomorrow, but tonight it's just for you guys and a few of my brother's friends.
Exciting.
Wow, so exclusive.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Let me get changed.
Probably same. Steven is probably sweating everywhere. It's like, I should probably change out of this. Yeah.
When you guys mention getting changed, Sam immediately covers his eyes.
Oh no, not here. I have some things in my room here at the club.
Oh, okay. Good.
But
I'll
you're very
be-
polite.
Oh, thanks. My dad tells me that a lot.
I'm sure he does.
Tea?
All right.
Tea, anyone?
Jasmine. Jasmine tea, as per usual. And I think Steven's just going to go head off to the changing room.
Excellent.
Sadie, tea?
No thanks, just champagne.
Well, okay.
I'll have some too.
Yeah? What kind of tea would you like, Sam?
Oh no,
We've
the
got them all.
champagne, please.
Yeah. So, Ed, say.
I
Oh.
think you accidentally muted yourself.
Liam, did you mute yourself? We've lost you for a moment.
Hear you. Just connecting with spirits.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, we see your mouth moving, but we can't hear you.
It was fine a moment ago, and now it's.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
He got so lost in making tea and champagne.
Right?
I guess you have to pantomime it now.
Sam's just like, well, if I'll take that silence as a yes to champagne.
Oh no, what have we done?
What have we done? Oh no! This kid. How old is this kid exactly? Like he's very
Can you
aware.
hear me now?
Yes. There
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, there we go.
He's
Okay,
about
I don't
12
know
or
what happened.
13.
12 or
It's
13, and
interference
probably
by
as
the
tall
Okay.
as I am.
Okay. Because I don't know why the voice that you had, like when you first spoke, it was kind of like, is he 8 or 7? And then he starts spewing out like this, all this like politics. I was like, okay, he's more than just 8. All right.
So, as I was saying, I started making tea. I started pouring a flute of champagne. And then I start making another tea that's very sweet, but I start stirring it with a stick of licorice. And then I drop like 2 drops of champagne in it and a bit of honey. And I'm just like, there you go. The jasmine tea, I grabbed a bit of coriander and a bit of salt and pepper, and I put it in a grinder, and I kind of put it through, and then I cut a slice of orange and I drip it in, and I'm like, I'm sure he won't mind a little something different.
Oh, that's incredible.
Ugh.
So,
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. It's actually delicious.
I'll
I'm
have
kidding,
to try
I've never
that
done that.
sometime. But
Do it when you go live. I think that's an experience
Yeah.
everyone should share.
But Sam is gonna drink his special sweet licorice tea with a little bit of champagne, and you'll see that he really makes a big play of like holding it with the pinky out and going like, yeah, that really takes the edge off of life.
Kid, you're 12 years old. Like,
yes.
what edge?
12 years old, born and raised in a rich family. Yes, no. Life must be hard for you, kiddo.
But y'all are able to drink your champagne tea with coriander, salt and pepper, and orange. Does Dodo drink anything?
Oh, yes. Dodo's gonna go and dig in her own bag, and she pulls out a tea bag that clearly looks like was filled and then put together by herself. And inside there's like all sorts of colors, like a bit of blue, a bit of purple, a bit of yellow. And as she puts it into the hot water, it starts making little popping sounds. And she's like, I went for a walk the other day and I found all these pretty colorful plants. And so I thought it'd make a great tea. And I've added a couple of things. And I think I might have dropped something in there, but I can't remember what it is. But I'm sure this will be delicious. And she starts stirring it. She takes a sip and she kind of makes a bit of a face. And she's like, it's not as bad as I look.
Sadie comes in a few moments later. She's changed into like a pink ruffly dress with a fascinator, and she sits down, takes her drink, and says, "Cheers."
Cheers.
Yeah, Steven comes back. Now he's wearing sort of like a sort of navy blue traditional Chinese tunic that's called like a chengsang, and a sort of black fedora donned on as well. Comes back. Also cheers with the probably like the rest of the group. Take like quickly sips the tea and then just like
It's a little
Dodo.
strong, isn't it?
Dodo, if I may inquire, what exactly did you put in this?
I can't remember really. Oh my gosh, it reminds me. And she kind of turns around and grabs a stick of celery and plunks it into the champagne flute. I'm so sorry. I think that's what they do with alcohol, right? Celery stick in it?
Oh, a garnish, lovely. And I sort of stir it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Then I sort of go, oh, no, it's making the bubbles go away. Well, and I sort of.
Is that good?
It's nutritious. Oh, you should have Sam have Dodo read your tea leaves when you're done.
Oh, you can do that?
Oh, she's very good at it.
Mm.
All right.
She can tell your fortune. Isn't that right, Dodo?
It's not my specialty, but if you have a great grandpa that died at some point, I can probably ask him some questions for you.
Yeah, please.
But he has to be dead though.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay
He
then.
hasn't been around.
Not being around is not the same as being dead. Trust
Oh.
you me.
That's okay. What happens if they're not dead and you try to contact them?
Well, usually they don't answer. Most people I try to
Oh.
contact that aren't dead don't answer.
Oh. He probably won't answer then. I have no idea. Okay. Well,
Okay.
let's just go to the party then.
This poor
Hurrah!
kid.
And it's like he'll think about having another sip of the drink that you made with 2 drops of champagne in it, and then you'll just see him shake his head, and you'll hear him mumble and say, "I shouldn't. I'm driving tonight." And when you leave the club, he'll walk over to a bicycle and he'll start leading the way.
Do we
This
just
12-year-old
follow on
kid tries
foot,
to be an
or-
adult.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely hilarious.
I'm happy to follow on foot.
I guess it depends on how far it is that we're going.
I have a question. Well, for the curator club, are y'all more downtownish or are you more like outskirts? Where do you imagine the club to be?
I would like to imagine the club to be somewhere near the like the Piccadilly Museum of Archaeology, or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just how I
Yeah.
imagine it. But
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
like the artsy side of town where
The arts district.
like yeah, it's got the music, it's got the arts,
Mm.
all of these
Mhm.
things.
Great. Okay.
I was about to make a reference to a suburb here in Sydney, which none of you would get. So
Well, in that case, it's not too far at all. And he'll do just that little like skid stop. Just think like the Akira slide, except like just a couple inches. But he will look at y'all with like a little bit of a smile, like, yeah, I just did that.
Steven claps.
Thank
work.
you. If you I'm gonna go up and make sure that they're ready for you. But if you wouldn't mind chilling out here for a second, I'll be back.
What?
Yeah. I think Dodo just has had her umbrella open and has walked with her umbrella open, and um, she's got like little things dangling from the umbrella, like little stars, little cloud, little sun, and she's just kind of
Aw.
spinning the umbrella to see them kind of spin, and she's like, okay, and you can see the inside of the umbrella. It's like a purple on the outside, but the inside has been painted like blue with like little stars, and it's like a night sky on the inside of the umbrella. She's just staring up at it.
That is delightful. Well, I will tell you that he like delightfully just like skips up the steps to the door, and you'll note that he takes out a key. It's just one key on a massive like key ring, and he will turn, open the door, and then he'll just give you like a sign of like, oh, just 1 second. And then when the door closes, you'll hear just a little bit before, like, because the windows at the front are still open, and so you'll hear like the sound of his shoes just like clanking on the wooden floor as he's like scrambling, and he says, Evans, Evans, we have guests. My friends are here. And after maybe about 2 minutes, an older gentleman is going to come to the door. Open. You'll see he has gray hair, probably in his 60s. He's wearing a tux. He's got white gloves, and he says, "Greetings. I see that you're friends of young Samuel."
Yep. It is an honor to meet you, sir.
Likewise.
Oh, good heavens! How are
Hello.
you?
Good.
Hello.
You? Hello. If you wouldn't mind, just follow me in. I will lead you to the ballroom where the exhibition will be held.
Excited.
And he'll lead you in. The front sitting room has a few couches with like purple cushions, gold trim. There is a set of stairs that extends in the center of this sitting room that extends up and then branches off on two sides. And here the you would note that there's like a landing at the top where where you would have like the perfect eagle eye view of the front. But Evans will lead you past this set of stairs to the left. After you pass a few doors, will lead you into one of these where there's a large ballroom that is mostly empty, save for one table that has a large tarp on it. There are also a few other people here. But notably, you would see, of course, the familiar face, Sam, is talking excitedly to what would look like an older version of Sam, in perhaps early 20s, wearing a black suit jacket, a white button-up shirt, also short blonde hair. If y'all have, for those of you who would have heard of Paul Adams, perhaps you would have seen him in a newspaper or two. You see him standing there, as well as a few people that perhaps are of his entourage. And he's gonna like gesture impatiently to Evans, who will say, right this way, and lead you up to the table with the tarp. And there, Paul is going to clear his throat, just a big So, hello, my friends, and Sam's friends, and he'll gesture towards the tarp and say, "You might wonder why I've invited you all here. You are, of course, friends, but more importantly, witnesses, because I want to declare my victory as the greatest collector in all the land, the greatest curator in the world. The collection, altogether worth 100 million readies, is now mine. It's incredible. I've done everything I can to amass this greatest of collections, and now he's gonna do like a quick snap of the fingers, and this room was originally lit by chandelier, but Evans has sped to the back of the room, turned off the lights, and all of you are going to hear just a little bit of fumbling. It's like, I just, all right, everything's fine. This is the voice of Paul. And then you start to hear the sound of lively carnival music. And beneath the tarp, you would see the glow from various lights from the different pieces that might be underneath. And then Paul walks forward and says, "Behold my collection." And he's gonna whip the tarp off, and you'll see the sprawling, complete model of the Peccadillo world famous amusement park, except for one thing. You hear a and then a giggle, and then Paul says, "What?" And you hear a thud, and in the middle, the spot where the most prized piece of the collection, the Ferris wheel, where it should sit, that spot is empty. And now, at this moment, we're going to take our little break. So, with apparently a thievery having occurred, and of course, us having been introduced to our incredible characters, we're going to take a little, maybe 10-15 minute-ish break. So, y'all, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see what Dodo, Sadie, and Steven are going to do in the light of a robbery? Who knows? But we'll see you soon. Bye!
See you soon.
Hey, it's Matt. If you're seeing this, this means that we're probably on break. And I figured, while we're waiting, in case you're chilling, I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in. And I figured I might try to keep you entertained with some videos for my channel while we're waiting. We'll be back very soon. Thank you so much for being here. Beginner roleplay. Break the silence. You know the silences that come after a GM is finished setting the scene. What do you want to do? If you want to break the silence, you can always go back to 3 things. Do the actions that need to be done. Say the words that need to be said. Feel the feelings that need to be felt. You can pick one and say what it is, because that helps everyone around you. Do the thing. So we've fallen into a hole. We can't climb back out. so let's look for a way out. I'm gonna start looking for a way out. Say something. I'm gonna speak up. We need to regroup. Okay, it looks like Bruce is looking for a path. Is everyone okay? How many people do we have? Feel something. Norman is scared. He's starting to shake a little bit. He feels like he's the one responsible for all of us being here. He murmurs to himself, did I do this? This is all pretty simple, right? But now that we have 3 things that are out there that we can do, make rolls for, it's helpful because now the other people at the table can latch onto that. Oh, you're looking around? I've got a flashlight. I can come with you. Yeah, if anyone's hurt, I have medical supplies. I can help. I'll put a hand on Norman's shoulder. I feel the same way. We can't let anyone know. Not now. Hopefully not ever. If you're new, it can be hard to roleplay in character, especially deciding on actions outside of combat. If you struggle with this, I have a tip for you. Say it. If your character is doing something, say it. If your character is not doing something, definitely say it. For example, say you're not sure what to do, and you want to defer. Then, Terrence is not sure what to do in this situation. He's looking to everyone else, ready to support. Saying those lines stalls for people who might still be working on finalizing their plans. And it gives people who have ideas but are waiting for everyone else, because they don't want to just take over the moment, permission to go ahead. Because when I'm at a table and I see someone deep in thought, I tend to assume they have an idea brewing. So if you want your character to stand by and defer to others, telling the table is a great move. Do you have a player who wants to play low charisma but is a bit nervous about role-playing it? Here's something you can pitch as a GM, if you don't mind taking a little extra pressure to improvise. The PC doesn't have to do anything different than what they want to do. You as the GM, on the other hand, whenever they make a low roll, you get to play around a bit. That's a 4. Sorry, I can't give it to you for free. Last time I did something like that, well, you just remind me of someone I dated once. I let them in and they tore my heart in 2. It'll be 50 gold. Essentially, their low charisma is rooted in them having one of those faces, one of those voices, or maybe those mannerisms that will remind an NPC of someone they used to know. So before this roll, can I cast Detect Thoughts? Okay, that's a 1. So the nobleman hears you say, "We're the King's Guard," and you feel in his mind, that's what my best friend said, before he turned on me and threw me into prison. Sorry, I'm just gonna get them out of here. Sarah, would you mind taking over? Thanks. Do you have a player who wants to play high charisma but is feeling a little too nervous about the roleplay? This is kind of a flip side of the low charisma one. But here's something you can pitch as the GM, if you don't mind taking a little extra pressure. They don't have to do anything different than what they want to do. You, on the other hand, whenever they make a roll, you get to play around a little bit. That's a 22. So the sneer on the bandit's face fades away. Are you? The other bandit steps up and whispers in his ear. I'm sorry. Please, let them through. I didn't know. Don't take it out on my men. Essentially, their high charisma is rooted in them being confused for people in high positions or connected to people in power. I want to detect thoughts while this is happening, okay? So the nobleman hears you say, "We're the King's Guard," and you feel in his mind, King's Guard? Wait, is this that undercover boss royalty program? Am I being tested to see if I'm worthy for the King's Court? I've been so rude. He speaks up. I'm so sorry. I lost my head for a bit. Please drink of my wine, eat of my cake, sleep of my bed. Anything for the King's Guard. They're the most powerful piece we have. There's a hero on the battlefield on helping to win the wars. Let's call them Victa. The PCs eventually run into this character in a battle. They're struggling and Victa shows up to save the day. But with one final blow, Victa is slain. The remains unidentifiable. The hope of every soldier has been taken away. Do we tell them? They return with heavy hearts. But when they arrive, they see a large crowd cheering. We're here to ruin the party. They see Victa on stage. An imposter? Everything they see, hear, perhaps even investigate shows that this is Victa. How? If the players ask around, they'll find a washed-up detective. The players will get some info until they get too close and the players learn about this detective's disappearance too. If they investigate the city building, they'll find a mage and Victa. But Victa's not moving. Are they dead? Not quite. I've made a clone. I've made many. Victa serves the city until their last breath. That was their pact. And with my magic, they will be in service to the city forever. Why? They give the people hope. Even if it's a lost cause, the people fight stronger, longer, because they're there. Do they accept this machine? Where a legendary hero has been enlisted to fight and die and fight and die? Or do they want to stop the cycle and end the lie? When it comes to hope. You want to see my ID? Okay. Now that I know your name, I win. Wait, I wrote your name down in my death note. Why are you still alive? So I met a fae once. What? Sorry. My most powerful roleplay tool is lending support to my teammates. How do you do that in the course of a scene? First, support their point of view. Whatever their action is, you don't need to have their logic or reasoning. Just support it. Why should we help you and not turn you in? We're gonna take down the head of the assassins. We are? Oh yeah, we are. That's the first step. If your teammate feels like you're on their side, they're gonna feel more supported and be more likely to support you too. Now, how well you can support their point of view may vary. Hey, you don't sound sure. What makes you think you can do that? Well, I'm not talking to you. How do you plan to take out the ultimate assassin? Here's the great part. Simply supporting is excellent. You don't need to support them in the most optimal way, unless that's true to your character. You simply need to support them in the way that your character would, even if that's not the smartest way. How do you even plan to get in? Through the front door? I like you. Keep this guy around. He's funny. Yeah. Funny. One of my favorite ways to spice up an encounter, especially one that lasts a little longer, is to throw in some NPCs, specifically two types. The best person who could show up, and the worst person who could show up. Say the PCs are struggling right now, so they might have let the sheriff know where they'd be. As the evil mage is about to launch their fireball, they pause. Who's there? All of you hear a familiar ting-a-ling-a-ling. Is that howdy? I thought y'all could use a hand. Whereas if the PCs seem to be doing really well, you're pushing the evil mage back when you see a familiar figure. The sheriff's daughter, Tabitha, wearing the same robes. Yes, save me, my queen. Your queen? Wait, is she the actual leader? But sometimes you can do a bit of both. As the evil mage is about to blast you, you hear a boom and see his staff fly out of his hands. I thought y'all could use a hand. As you continue to rain down pain upon the evil mage, you have the advantage now. He can't stand up to your combined strengths, especially with the support of the sheriff, but all of you notice the evil mage smiles. Save me, my queen. Happy? Why? Silly villain idea. The loner. Whenever the party needs something, this NPC is there to help. Oh, you want to get there faster? I've got horses. I'd be happy to loan you some. Oh, you need a map of the city? This one even has all the secret spots in town. Looking at you, Miss Rogue. The more and more this NPC helps and the party is seen working with them, the citizenry start to react a bit differently. The baker gave me all this free stuff. He seemed scared of me. I got free tickets to the show. I wanted to pay and they flinched when I reached into my pocket. Are you friends of Farah? Yeah. Here's our payment for the week. This is all we can afford. If you could get it to them. Payment for what? Just get it to them. Please. It's from the Chestersons. No, Zod. Farah? Hey. Ooh, you got pastries? Looks like they got the message. Nothing but the best from my friends. There was this too, from the Chestersons. Ah, late. Again. And they're short. Again. I'll pay them a visit. For this and for bothering you. I'll catch you later. Are we friends with the mob boss? I think so. Shit. It can be hard to roleplay as a beginner at the table. Sometimes you don't know what to do, or you want to say something that fills the silence, but doesn't commit the group to anything, because you don't want to take over the moment. Use a get ready move. These are actions that are simple, in character, and nudge action without necessarily forcing the group in one direction. For example, you hear the sound of hooves and wheels approaching. What do you do? If I were to say, Terrence draws his sword, that feels much more aggressive than Terrence is gonna sit up and put his hand on his sheathed sword. Though both would suggest a readiness to defend if need be, the latter, a get ready move, allows us to continue the path of we'll see what happens, rather than progressing us farther down the path of potential hostilities. It fills the silence, so the GM doesn't immediately advance the scene to the next beat, giving the other players some time to decide what they want to do. So someone else could take the lead and say, Sarah's gonna nod, be ready, I'll see what they want. What do you do when there's a clear meta mistake? By that I mean, let's say the player misunderstood the situation, and their character is acting on that misunderstanding now. I'm gonna activate the machine. Are you sure? It'll seal away the big bad, right? No. It's supposed to open the seals to allow the big bad's army to enter this plane. Oh, I misunderstood that completely. Yeah, your character has high enough intelligence to know that. This is one of the few circumstances where I say clarify and give the player the option to retcon if need be. Whoa, retcon? Yeah. So sometimes I see people say, gotcha, no takesies backsies, which doesn't feel right because the character shouldn't have to pay for a player's meta misunderstanding. Just like how a character shouldn't benefit from a player's meta knowledge either. Because we want the character to be doing things that the player is choosing on purpose. That's in line with the character. So I'll give the option. With the knowledge now corrected, what do you want to do? So then the character can act in line with their ability and their skill, not hampered by the misunderstanding. And if they've got a plan, they might still want to do the terrifying thing, but at least they're doing so on purpose, and not because of a miscommunication. Encourage new players to roleplay more. So you don't have to be a performer or a comedian. You can't force anyone to, but you might be able to encourage them. First, set the precedent yourself. I have to set the example. I'll immerse into a character to roleplay with someone, and be willing to look foolish or silly. It doesn't mean your players will, but seeing me go a little wild might help someone else step out of their shell too. Because if they suddenly want to make a big move, they know be alone. To make it easy, you take the pressure off of them. You're not putting expectations on them. They're going to respond how they want. Whatever it is, be happy with it. Because no one wants to feel like they're disappointing you with whatever they're comfortable with. If someone does step out of their comfort zone, you make it easy on them. It doesn't have to be too long. That makes it easier for others, because they know they don't have to RP for 10 minutes straight. To make it fun, give them easy NPCs to work with initially. I'm not going to throw a Roastmaster General at a newer player, at least until I think they can handle it. So I'll throw easily understandable archetypes like the helpful shopkeep, curious child, or the worried parent, so they can draw from real life experience to inform their character choices. The more they succeed in these roleplay moments, the more they are likely to want to do more roleplay moments, especially if you can make it rewarding for them in some way. So that'd be how I'd start if I wanted to. Beginner roleplay tactics. One of my favorite things when it comes to roleplay is when someone includes me in something they're doing, especially for flavor. So your character is pretty aware and nimble, right, Matt? Yeah. If we used to work together, maybe you could catch me. Gerald is kind of frail. Of course, because it makes me feel helpful, and it gives me extra fuel for flavor. With the entire party falling, we could all individually describe a distinct superhero landing, but there's something fun about being given that gift.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Improv and RPG channel. We are rocking and rolling with some flabbergasted action. I hope that my little BRB thing has kept y'all entertained, but we're just trying things here. But of course, when we left off, it was the grand unveiling of the incredibly expensive, incredibly rare collection of miniatures of the Peccadillo amusement park. But one piece was missing. There was a gasp, there was a giggle, there was a what of shock before the sound of a thud. And now the lights come back on, and you see that Paul has fainted. Sam is currently tending to him, but there is an older gentleman who steps forward. And for those of you who were familiar with Paul, the Adam's name is famous even before he started his collection, because of course Count Adams. He has a salt and pepper hair and mustache. He's wearing a red suit jacket, red slacks, a blue tie. His hair is all very clean and neat, as are all his clothes. And he steps forward. He has an eye on Paul, but he says, "No one is allowed to leave. Whoever here can come to me and unmask the culprit will be awarded handsomely. But no one is allowed to leave the premises. If anyone does, we will assume your guilt and you will be hunted down." And with that, the other members of this exclusive party, some of them seem in shock. Some of them seem disgruntled. But you would hear the general murmurings are that, okay, well, if we're not allowed to leave the premises is pretty big. Yeah, we could go grab a snack or something, and I guess we'll figure out what goes on here. But at this moment, there are quite a few people. I would say maybe in total about 6 people, not including Sam and the fainted Paul. There's, of course, Count Adams, who spoke up. There is a woman in a long blue dress with ruffly sleeves. She's got long brown hair, green eyes. There is a gentleman that seems to be consoling her, who has golden glasses, a mid part, of his brown hair, brown suit, brown pants, a red vest, and a red tie. There is a gentleman that has an open bottle in his hand. Um, and he has black hair, a little bit of scruff, a buttoned up shirt, but the top three are unbuttoned, and he's wearing black pants. There is a feminine figure with a beige blouse, gray pants, black framed glasses, blonde hair, and a ponytail. There is someone who is wearing a gray dress with an apron, likely a housekeeper. And of course, there is Evans as well. But with that declaration from the count, the housekeeper and Evans are both going to tend to Paul. But you could question any of the people I mentioned, or if you would like to look for someone else in the premises or check the premises outside of in checking like outside of talking with the people specifically, then by all means. So, does anyone have an idea of where they would like to begin?
I would like to use a scene cue.
Okay, let's go.
All right, scene cue.
This is called Leave No Stone Unturned. No one, and we mean no one, is as thorough as you are. When searching, you will find something that everyone else would overlook. And so I would like to sort of take advantage of the general sort of hubbub of, people milling about and sort of checking on each other and, gossiping to to take a look at the scene itself, specifically where the other miniatures are and where the Ferris wheel is meant to be. And just take a good look at the the location.
Excellent. So using that scene cue, you're able to investigate where the miniatures are and where the missing Ferris wheel was, and you would note, you would smell a perfume. Just the faint traces. Perhaps it's a little bit stronger. Where, like, you would note that when you go to where the Ferris wheel would be, if you were to access it, you'd have to lean over. You'd have to lean over the rest of the piece. Then it seems like the closest point where you would lean over, you smell a perfume that, well, it smells familiar. Is Sadie familiar with a perfume known as Channel 5?
Yeah, I think she's a fashionable woman about town. She's familiar.
Yeah. You smell it, and even though like it's not like they sprayed the perfume onto this model. The smell of it smells like whoever left the smell here used too much.
Sadie will reach into her. Well, she's got like a little. I was like, she doesn't have pockets. She's wearing a dress now, but she's got a little like bag with her, a little shoulder strap around a little purse. So she'll take out a tiny notebook and write that down. And Kayleigh will also make a note of this. Hopefully, yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Now you've noted that. I want you to consider what you might want to do next, where you might want to go next. Liam, Henry, do either of you have a target in mind, whether person or destination?
I think for Steven, because Steven's like his motivations is pretty much like, oh, I want to do things. Not really
Uh-huh.
so much talking to people yet, but I think currently in this moment in time, Steven is more interested in how did someone steal the Ferris wheel. So I think if so basically if Sadie is working on like surveying the location, I think Steven's more focused on like the method in terms of how did someone steal the Ferris wheel. So I will like Steven to just basically go around and surveying like the sort of like vicinity and like tries to imagine like if he were the thief, how he would have gone about it to actually
Oh,
steal them like like the Ferris wheel. Like to put himself in the mind of, the thief. To be like,
right.
okay, how capable is this crime and what sort of possible avenues are there available to steal this? And
Okay.
therefore it could dumb down to like maybe, oh, okay, if this were this person, there's only a couple people here who could possibly do it. So yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm on board.
Mhm.
So, in that case,
Mhm.
Stephen,
Yes.
I'd like you to make a little roll for me,
Yes.
please. Um,
First roll.
First roll.
I look. I feel like there are a few possible avenues you could take here.
Yep.
I'm leaning towards a creativity and passion or a wit and sharp.
My wit and sharp is only a 1, so I am going to do creativity and passion.
Sounds good.
Yeah, because I have 3 dice in that. So yeah.
Oh, great.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's like all the other things, they're all 3s except for wits and sharp. That's how I designed Steven.
Oh, snap.
Oh, 1 6. Okay, cool.
Okay, with one
Oh,
six.
actually, no, I have to roll 1. Actually, one more. No, still 1 success. So 6.
Oh, okay. So, with that success, you'd be able to tell that as far as coming into this room, as far as committing a thievery is concerned, there was the set of doors that you had come through. There are also, as far as this ballroom is concerned, much like most ballrooms, it's like you could open it up. There are panels that you could slide away to open it up to access to essentially elongate the ballroom. There are 2 sets of panels, one on the left, one on the right, that are closed, and of course they would be because there's only maybe about 10 people here. But if a thief wanted to access this area, they could use the double doors, they could move the panels out of the way, or any number of the windows could be accessed too. And it being a ballroom, the windows are covered by curtains, but there are quite a lot of them. And any of those could easily have been opened, left open, or any of that matter to access this room. Additionally, perhaps because Steven is so physically adept, you could ascertain that the culprit could have, from the windows, climbed the curtain, leapt to a chandelier, and gone from chandelier to chandelier until they were right above the miniatures, and they could have accessed said Ferris wheel that way too.
No, that
With
that
that
makes
in
sense.
mind, I'm the thief.
Yeah. So what you're saying is Steven is the thief without realizing.
You're
No, but
sleepwalking.
yeah, it's just sleepwalking. Yeah, so I think you just see like a lot of these scenarios. Like if you guys seen Hannibal, like how the FBI agent just basically pictures like, oh yeah, this is by design, this is my design, kind of thing. So it's almost like that going on. So I think so. Yeah, thank you, Matt, for all the scenarios for that. So I
Yeah.
believe the next step now is like, okay, there's these avenues. Let's now talk to people because
Okay.
it's got to be someone who one knows this place in and out. Either they are someone who frequents this manor often or works in this manor often, or they're like me, they're just physically adept that's capable of doing the chandelier trick. But if I can't, I won't know that until we actually talk to people. So I
Okay.
think that's my next avenue.
Sounds good. In that case, think about who you might want to talk to, and I will come back to you in a minute. Liam, what is Dodo gonna do?
Alrighty. I reckon Dodo kind of looks around a bit confused. Like I don't think she quite grasps what's happening. She kind of goes over the table, looks around, looks at it a bit confused, then kind of looks around at everybody kind of milling about, and she just like, uh, uh, I think there's a piece of your collection missing there. Isn't there a Ferris wheel? I haven't been there in a long time, but I'm pretty sure there's a Ferris wheel in the middle.
And when you say that, you are going to hear as the Count Adams says, "Yes, that's what's causing this chaos right now."
Oh, that makes sense then. I bet this one's very expensive too. I mean, a collection's not a collection if you're missing a part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I understand. So you'd say the Ferris wheel is lost.
Yes, otherwise it'd be right here. Now, this is another pock on the Adams family face. And you see there's
Well,
Count
you're
Adams.
lucky.
Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
Go. I was gonna say you're lucky. Finding lost things is what I do.
Oh, well, good. Then there'll be a hefty reward for you if you can do it.
I don't mind. Money's just money. But I'm always happy to help.
Could I would like you to make a quick roll for me. This, and I'll let you choose which one, but essentially it's about, because there's a lot going on in Count Adams' face. There's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of veins, but there's one emotion in particular when you say a certain phrase. So whichever role you think would apply best, then by all means.
As much as I'd want it to be creativity and passion, it's probably
Uh-huh.
not that. I'd say it's probably either culture and etiquette or wit and sharp.
Okay. Choose whichever
I'm gonna
one
say
of those.
wit and sharp.
Perfect.
Wit and sharp, I'm gonna say, is the one I'm gonna go with.
Okay. I believe in you.
All right. So success is on a 5 or a 6, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So just one success.
Okay, one success is enough to know that there is a very visible look of contempt on his face when you say the sentence, "Money is just money." But he will at this point, unless you want to keep talking with him, he will walk off, as he's left Evans and the housekeeper to deal with Paul, who is recovering from fainting.
All right. Well, if I can go and speak to someone
Who
at
would you like to speak
random,
with? Oh,
well, I mean, I'll admit I don't remember the descriptions of everyone. The one
no
that I do
worries.
remember, is the lady with a blonde ponytail, I believe.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go and speak to them.
Great. That's perfect. Because perhaps Dodo has found a little bit of a kindred spirit here, because she also seems a little bit out of place. Because she is wearing her beige blouse, gray pants, black framed glasses, and you would note that her attitude, her clothes don't seem quite as upper crust as the other people here. But when you approach,
Nice.
she seems a little bit a little bit upset.
Hey there.
Hi.
You're okay? Can I get you a
Yes.
tea or something?
That would be grand. I would appreciate that immensely.
Is there anything to make tea in this room?
Yes, I would say that on like the edge of the room, perhaps about a good 20 feet away, because they didn't want to risk anything with the food and the exhibition. But there would be kettles. There are little hors d'oeuvres, little tiny sandwiches cut into little triangles. But you could easily brew up a reasonably fancy tea. Like, I would say that their selection, there's probably like 3 kinds that are just out, but even when you get closer, you'd be able to smell it. These smell like top tier teas.
Nice. I think as I approach, they all seem so good, and it's really hard to pick. So I'm gonna grab a little bit from each, and like make a combined tea. And lately, I've really been into kind of spicing things up a little bit. So I'll dig into my purse, and again, I've got that stick of licorice, but I also have a stick of cinnamon, which I think those two will work really well together. So I kind of stew that and stir it together, and then I'll smell it, and I'll be like, yes, yes. And so I'll make a couple myself as well, and I'll go back, and I'll hand it to her, and uh, I'll just say, hey, my name's Doris. What's your name?
I would like you to roll a creativity and passion for how well your triple tea mixture turns out.
It's Dodo's specialty.
Specialty.
Hmm.
I didn't know why I got a 4 in creativity and passion, but now I do.
Oh,
To make
great.
tea.
Fantastic.
And we have no successes.
Oh,
2
Okay.
2s and 2 3s.
All right. So,
Oh, actually, I'm gonna use my coin.
oh, great. Let's go.
So remind me, the coin is
So, you
essentially
call it?
heads or tails and gives
Right.
me 1 success.
Yes, you have to call it though.
Yes, of course. I don't have a coin, but if you're happy for me to roll a die,
Please do.
or if you want to roll a die and I can call it,
It's all yours. It's all yours.
all right. So I'm going to say odds,
Okay.
ooh.
and I'm gonna roll a 3.
Great.
Ooh.
So
There's 1 success.
she's gonna start to drink it, and you see like a peculiar look on her face. And then she just kind of nods a little bit, and she says, "My name is Sally. Sally Struthers. I tried the tea before, and it all just tasted too expensive for me. Thank you for bringing something more familiar."
I'll take a sip myself, and I'll kind of do one of those. I hate it. No, I love it. It's weird. I love it. I love it. I really like it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it It's lovely to meet you, Sally. I'm Doris, but you can call me Dodo.
It's nice to meet you too, Dodo. Um, I wish it were under better circumstances.
I mean, those aren't bad circumstances.
Well, and she'll gesture towards the unconscious Paul. I, I don't know. I usually don't meet people when something incredibly expensive has been stolen.
I'll use that same sentence again. I'll be like, oh, you know, love, money's just money. They'll find it. I'll find it. Someone will find it. It'll be okay. And look, he's waking up already. Everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I you're probably right. But I will come back to you in
I
just one
usually am.
moment. I want you to consider perhaps your line of questioning, what you might want to get, but you have brought her into like a friendlier state of mind at this point with your tea. But I'm gonna jump back over to Sadie
Wait,
real
we're
quick.
supposed to ask questions?
Sadie, you caught the smell trail, and you've noted that. What would you like to do next?
Well, my next thing I'd like to do is get a sense of who might be wearing this perfume now. I mean, I don't know if that's, too obvious that they'd still be wearing it, but yeah, maybe, I'm going to probably limit my search, at least at first, to women, because it's more likely, again, unless it's someone, specifically trying to throw off the scent, literally. But yeah, were there any women in this room? I know there's the one that Doris is talking to. She doesn't seem like
Yes.
the type for fancy perfume.
So there's also the woman with the long blue dress with riffly sleeves with the long brown hair. There's also the housekeeper who is currently assisting Evans with Paul at the moment.
Okay, I think the woman in the blue dress definitely seems like the most likely to be wearing fancy perfume. Okay. So I will make my way towards her casually, and just sort of seem I'm just like observing, as opposed to necessarily trying to get information out of her. And I say, "Oh, what a terrible occurrence! Who would have done something like this? I can't imagine."
And she looks like distraught. You see her eyes, like, even though you're talking to her, her eyes keep going back towards Paul in a very worried look. And as you see, as she's about to open her mouth, her lip trembles, and she says, Is he okay?"
Oh, Paul. No, I think he'll be fine. I think it was just a fright. And I go through my purse and I pull out some tissues or a handkerchief to give to her.
Oh, okay. So if you do that, if you wouldn't mind giving me either a persuasion or a culture and etiquette, I'll give you an extra die for taking out the tissues or handkerchief to assist in this case.
I love how we do random things that for us is just like a minute part of our role play, and Matt's like, "This is exactly what you needed to do in front of this person. Give me a roll."
Empathy.
Okay, I think both of my stats are the same. Sorry, was it bravado and persuasion or culture and etiquette?
Right.
Okay, yeah, either of them are the same. I'll say, just for in terms of the approach I'm taking, I'll say this is yeah, I mean, I don't know if it matters, but just in terms of how it affects. So I'll say the first because I think I am trying to.
Okay.
I have a little bit in that I'm not purely. I'm trying I'm trying to be helpful, but I am also trying to get a little bit
Right.
Get her a little bit on my side. Okay, so. I got a 6 in there.
Okay.
One
great.
success. Mhm.
She's gonna take your tissues and like dab at her eyes, but you'll see like a bit of relief in her face when you say that he's gonna be okay. And I imagine like with everything kind of happening at the same time, it's probably when Dodo also chimes in and says, "Oh, he's waking up right now," and she like the assurance combined with seeing him starting to come to, you see that she's feeling a little bit more comfortable right now, and she says, "Thank you. I'm sorry. I just old feelings, right?"
I understand how it is. And I'm in my head. I'm like, this is so romantic. Kara, is she by any chance? Can I smell any perfume on her?
How close are you going to get?
Well, I think probably before when I passed
Give
through
her
the
a hug.
tissues was probably.
Oh.
Oh, good thought.
Uh-huh.
You know what? Actually, I will do that. And I'll start maybe not a hug, but at least a sort of like pat on the shoulder. And I'll say as I feel the pug feels maybe a bit. But
And then
yeah,
sniff the
just like a
hand.
little. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Go in front of
Just,
her.
there. Yep.
Excellent.
Not
Excellent.
creepy at all.
So you would
Just girl
smell.
things.
You would smell that she is wearing that type of perfume.
Okay, so it is
Channel
Chanel
5.
Chanel number 5 or Channel 5. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
My copyright free.
Gotcha. Sorry. Channel 5.
In this
You just-
world, it's pronounced channel.
Coming to you live on channel
I was
5.
like, it either is a parody or Matt just doesn't know how to pronounce the word, and I don't want to embarrass him.
Oh,
Okay.
funny enough, in Taiwan, we actually do pronounce Chanel as channel because no one
Oh.
knows how to pronounce it. So,
Oh snap!
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on board.
yeah.
But
So
yeah,
okay,
you
so
smell
interesting,
Channel
but
5
also
on it.
you know not it's a popular perfume. She
Right.
might have and she also might have just been close to the display before it was stolen.
Right.
So I'll say I'm Sadie Sedgwick, and you are.
It's a pleasure. My name is Ruth Brown, and this is my boyfriend, John Baxter. And the gentleman with the gold glasses, the mid part, the brown suit, brown pants, red vest, red tie, will step forward and say, "Hello, it's nice to meet you."
Oh, boyfriend, and there's a little bit of maybe just like a slight expression crosses my face before as I kind of look from Ruth to Paul, and then I just say, "Oh, nice to meet you." To was Baxter.
Yeah, John Baxter.
John Baxter. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what brings you here tonight to the exhibition?
And the two of them will kind of like look at each other for a moment, and she's gonna do just like a little nod for him to go first, and he'll say, "Well, of course I'm here to accompany my love Ruth, but I'm also an appraiser, and I help to appraise the value of the Ferris wheel for him. I helped appraise the rest of the pieces as well."
Oh, how interesting! And the Ferris wheel, was it the most valuable thing here?
Yes. On its own, outside of the collection, the Ferris wheel itself would be perhaps 30,000 readies.
Golly, wow, that's a lot of money. A lot of readies.
Yes.
But I mean, I can certainly see why someone would steal it, but I mean, how? I can't. Forgive me, sorry. Just just still shocked by a crime like this. It's so awful.
Yes.
Poor Paul.
Awful indeed. Why? How? I only know the numbers. I don't know the motives. And he'll like as he like stands upright, um he will like look over at Paul for a moment and say, "Oh, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, right?"
I mean, I haven't met Paul personally, just his brother, but everything I've heard about Paul, it's just he's a very nice man. So you
Yeah.
were able then to see the Ferris wheel before.
Yes. Yes.
When was that? Was that tonight?
No. It was right when he acquired it.
Oh, when was that?
A couple days ago.
And do you know if anyone else had seen the Ferris wheel?
I imagine that his father would have, and whenever he gets a new piece, Sam always wants to play with it, but Sam never gets a chance to. These are worth too much money to be played with.
Well, it seems like whoever stole it is going to have a hard time selling it because it's so famous. Everyone knows it's Paul's. I'm sure it'll turn up in no time.
I hope so for old Paul's sake. And I'll come back to you in a minute. You can decide where you want to go next. Steven.
Yes. I believe I'm still going to go with the same route of like figuring out like the method and like who has the most extensive knowledge of this place to conduct such actions to steal the Ferris wheel. So with that, I think the most common, or at least the train of thought that I'm thinking of right now, is to talk to the maid who is currently helping Paul up, right? So it's Evans, the maid, and Paul, like almost like at the same location,
right? And Sam. Sam is also there.
So pretty much like pretty much anyone in like the Adams like household in a sense. So,
right.
Yeah. So I think Steven goes up to them, and basically just like greets them all, be like, like terribly sorry for the inconvenience. Steven offers to help Paul up to at least to sit in like a sofa nearby because it's probably very uncomfortable to sit on the ground. Like as a gesture, be like, oh come on, let's get you somewhere to sit. Let's get you some water. Maybe like a little cool ice towel to like cool you off, stuff like that, to get them all set. Get them all set before like probably gonna like talk to them about like
yeah. You're able to do that, and I'll say that the housekeeper, she looks grateful that you're assisting as well, because having an extra pair of hands, especially when you're dealing with someone who might stumble at any moment, can make all the difference.
For sure.
And we get Paul seated with a little bit of water. Sam is still like looking worried at his side. Evans is keeping a close eye on Paul, but that will give you the perfect opportunity to speak with the housekeeper.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and talk to the housekeeper in that sense. It'll just be like, Um, p- uh, I hope that what I was able to do was, uh, more than enough to at least lift some weight off your shoulders, uh,
Yes,
so to speak.
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
I've been
No.
so worried about his health as of late, so
Mm,
every hand helps.
yeah. No. Is he doing all right? Like, you said that his health is an issue. Is that like is that anything serious, or is just like
Oh, would you do a bravado and persuasion for me?
uh okay, cool. I got 4 on that. No, I got 3 on that. So let's see. There's a
Because
5 in there.
oh,
Okay, there's a 5. So only one success.
okay, because you could tell that there's a little bit of apprehension because I mean Paul Adams, the
Mhm.
new young rising star of the Adams family.
Mm,
It might cause some scandal. It might cause some worry if the essentially the heir to the Adams fortune were sick or ill
mhm,
in some regard.
mm,
Um, but with what you've done, with you having shown your care for Paul, she'll say, I just feel like he's diving too deep into this. It it felt like he were um, obsessed with securing this final piece to complete this collection. And he would stay up late. He would travel to all reaches of the world to track down pieces. I want him to finish it, but I'm afraid that he might be looking for something he can't find in material things. That
mm.
it won't be enough and he might, who knows what he'll do. Who knows when it doesn't scratch that itch, when it doesn't fill that void.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. No, I could understand him a little bit. I'm an arms and armors dealer at the Pecadillo Museum of Archaeology. I
Oh,
totally understand that. There are countless treasures here in this world that are yet to be discovered, and the lengths that I have to acquire these items, less just to say, it puts Indiana Jones. I don't know if you know Indiana Jones, but the adventures that he has to go on, I probably have done probably more than that. But um,
oh.
I do understand that lifestyle, and I think that perhaps yes, maybe it will scratch the itch, maybe it won't. But, so long as there are people right beside him that support him all the way, that at least could catch him when he falls. And I just gesture to her like, much like you, when you catch him when he fell, when he fainted. I think
Yes,
that's more important.
yes, I agree.
Hmm.
And you mentioned that you work at the museum with arms and armor and
Armor. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not familiar with this Mr. Jones, but I mean, it sounds like it might be pretty dangerous.
no, it's all right. But anyway, that's beside the case. I'm glad he's fine. I would like to ask you about. Well, I've taken a little survey of this place, and it seems like, through my experience, that whoever is able to at least steal the Ferris wheel might have some extensive knowledge of this household in one way or another. So I was wondering, despite this, other than the people who have lived here, so that includes Evans, Sam, yourself, and the Count, is there any one of these guests here that have frequented this manor?
Peter,
Peter?
and she'll gesture to the man with the black hair, a little bit of scruff, the button-up shirt, but the top three buttons are
Mm,
unbuttoned. and
Mhm.
black pants.
Yeah.
At
Okay.
this point, he has made his way over to the to the little tiny finger sandwiches, and he is chomping away while I mean, I'd say like you look over, right? He's got the bottle completely upturned, just like waiting for the last couple drops.
Hmm.
Yeah, Peter has been living here for a few years now.
Uh, is he a close relative? Is he like cousin twice removed, or just a friend of Count Paul?
Paul,
Oh,
Peter is one of Paul's old school friends.
Hmm.
He honestly, I feel like he's just here so he can live in the lap of luxury for free, but we put up with it.
for many years now. Like
Yeah.
never thought of getting a job, never thought of like moving out. Like he's just very content of
He's-
living here.
He says he's Paul's manager, but I don't know if he does anything.
Well, I will leave educated guesses when I actually do talk to him. But so I know I hold no judgments until when I do talk to him, pretty much. But thank you. And also I do notice that is there anyone able to actually access? So I actually do point like the shutters that you mentioned, also the windows. So I just point to them. It's like, are those able to be opened by anyone, or does someone need like a particular key to access like these things to get around this space?
No, as far as the panels to open up the ballroom are concerned,
Mhm.
those are easy to open. Anyone could. They aren't locked by any means. There's just a little latch to keep them from opening unexpectedly. The windows, there's a locking mechanism on the inside, but there's not a key for that. You just turn it so then you can't open the window from outside.
Mm.
But for the main doors, and I guess in a way to access the panels, even from the other side, you'd have to be able to get in through the main doors, and there are two more sets of doors on the other sides of those panels, but you would have to be able to open those.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah.
But
So I think
all of our staff have keys to access these rooms because we have to make sure that everything is clean for guests.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that information. I'll go ahead and talk to Peter later, but thank you so much. Oh, sorry, I never really caught your name.
Lois.
Lois.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely name.
Oh, thank you.
Right. I'll probably reach out to you if I have any other stuff that I need to talk about in terms of the space. But thank you so much for your
Yeah,
help.
don't be a stranger.
Cool.
All right. I'll come back to you. We'll go over
Wink,
to
wink.
Dodo. Dodo.
Sorry, just for the sake of my notes,
Yes.
what's the name of the lady that Sadie was talking to again?
Oh,
Ruth.
Baxter's girlfriend?
Ruth.
Ruth.
And John Baxter.
Ruth
Nice.
Brown, John Baxter.
Yeah. So that's
Nice. Dodo doesn't care, but Liam is taking notes.
Great. Excellent.
okay.
So, what does Dodo want to do?
Okay. So Dodo's got that cup of tea. We're having a cup of tea. And I'll just continue with my reassurance. I'll just say, it's funny. Most things are at lost. just end up turning up themselves. Like, the more you look, the less likely you are to find them. Like, for all we know, the Ferris wheel wasn't even on the table when we first got in the room. It was probably just forgotten somewhere else. I'm sure if they checked wherever they left the Ferris wheel last time, it's probably still there.
Oh, that doesn't sound like Paul. Paul is usually pretty.
I mean,
he-
I don't know Paul.
Oh, I, 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 I was the one that got him into this, into collecting miniatures.
Oh, cool. You must have really nice collections yourself then.
It's pretty nice. I mean, not as expensive as Paul's. I can't really afford the big ticket items, but it keeps me calm. It's fun.
Well, fun has more value than expensive.
I agree.
Um, I think Dodo through this conversation is, I mean, she's just being herself, and she speaks quite loudly,
Yeah.
as a default.
Mm-hmm.
And while I love the idea that Dodo really doesn't care, I'm going to say that she's, um, for the sake of being involved in this story, um, I'm going to say that Dodo is almost making a point of saying everything she says where most people around her can hear. And I think
Oh,
she's
okay.
gonna try to kind of keep an eye out for how people respond to the theory that maybe the Ferris wheel wasn't there in the first place, or the idea that things just
Oh,
end up turning up, or that sort of stuff.
okay.
Just
Why
get a
don't
general vibe check uh, of the room, I guess.
Yeah, why don't you give me a wit and sharp?
Wit and sharp.
Yeah, let's see how this clever plan plays out.
That's one success.
One success. Great. Great. In that case, you're gonna note two people that seem to react to what you're saying. Um, Notably Peter, uh, the one with the top three buttons unbuttoned, um, by the appetizers, by the little sandwiches, and also um, Lois, the woman that the housekeeper that Steven is walking away from. It seems like both of them, like, oh, it's like they both turn to you when you blurt that out into the ether.
Do they kind of turn around like disapprovingly, approvingly, or like
So,
do their faces kind of look like that's a fucking weird thing to say, or
I have a pitch for you. So I can either give you one of their expressions and give you the truth, or I can give you both of their expressions, but one of the bits of information is gonna be a lie.
Wow.
I mean that sounds a lot more fun. So give me one that says the truth and one that says the lie.
Excellent. Excellent. So in this case, when Peter looks at you, there's just like a look of confusion. Like everything you said doesn't quite make sense. And for Lois, the look she gives you is a look of worry.
Okay. All right, so they both look confused at what I said, like the concept of, I guess everything I said is confusing them, but Lois in particular is looking worried about it.
Yeah, Lois has a look of worry. Peter has a look of the confusion. That what you
Oh,
said,
okay.
the Ferris wheel not being there in the first place, that doesn't make
Right.
sense.
And Lois, the maid, looks worried at what
Mhm.
I said.
Yes.
It's like, holy shit. Okay,
Yes.
interesting. Interesting. I think seeing that sorry, I forgot it. The name of the lady I'm speaking to is
Oh, hang on one second. That is Sally Struthers.
Sally. Cool. So I'll look over at Sally and I'll be like, feeling a little bit better, dear.
Yes, your tea helped me out immensely. I'll have to
Oh,
get that recipe from you sometime.
of course, yes. I'd be happy to try to remember what I did. But if you're feeling quite all right, I might go and have a chat. There seems to be so many lovely people here tonight. I probably never would have met any of these people if I hadn't been here for this awesome experience.
Yeah, please do. Um, and if you write it down, just I'll be here, and I can't leave. So
Oh, okay then. And just kind of just dawdle away, do like whistle a little tune along the way, and just move on to the next person.
okay, do you have someone in mind?
Um, I want to go back and talk to the father.
Phenomenal. That is perfect. Um,
I try.
so,
I try.
so
Yeah.
at this moment, with all of you having collected some looks, some smells, some ideas of perhaps who could be the culprit, perhaps who wouldn't be the culprit, and considering who else you need to collect some information from, we have reached the end of this session. I'm sorry,
No.
I've gone over a few minutes. I promised 2 hours. So,
Um,
y'all, I mean, my wonderful players, we're all from different time zones. So, everyone is making such a big effort to be here, so I appreciate y'all so much. But this is part 1 of our precious memories series. So, thank y'all so much for playing. Audience, thank y'all so much for being here. Y'all have been absolutely incredible. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all will tune in for part 2 when we come back, probably sometime next month, as soon as we organize all that. But before we bid y'all adieu, I do want to give a big thanks again to Wanderer's Tome, Chelsea and Fleur, for creating this wonderful game and allowing us to play it before it's officially out. So big thanks to them. We have such a blast every time. But now, let's go over to our players. Who you are, who you've been this evening, and where people can find you if you want to be found. We're going to start with Kayleigh with Henry on deck.
Hi, I am Kayleigh. I've been Sadie Sedgwick. Took me a second. Okay. Sadie Sedgwick, the sleuth. And you can find me. But maybe, well, I'll be here again at some point, playing part
Yes.
2.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kayleigh. Let's jump over to Henry with Liam on deck.
Hi, I'm Henry. I've played Stephen Yen, the Explorer. And you can find me on Emblem Trove on Twitter, where if you want some emblems designed for your TTRPG games out there or publish, give me a call. I love to design them. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Henry. Let's go over to Liam with myself on deck.
Hey guys, Liam here. You can try to find me places as well, but there's good odds I won't be there, although I will make an effort to return to those haunted places. Tonight I played Doris Dodo Piper, the occultist, who doesn't mind too much. Just happy to be here, you know?
Absolutely. I love all your characters so much. I'm so excited to see what y'all get up to next time. I'm Matt. I've been the director, aka the GM this evening. And you can find me here everywhere as Improv and RPG. And just thank y'all so much for being here. My cast, thank y'all so much for being willing to play with me. Y'all are incredible. I always leave these sessions on such a high, with such a buzz that I can't go to sleep,
Yeah.
in the best possible way. So y'all have
And
been
thank
so
you, Matt.
wonderful.
Yeah, thanks,
Of
Matt.
course, thank you.
Yeah.
But y'all, thank you for being here, and until next time, have a good night, and may we be able to solve the mystery of the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.